did you want me to start as Olimar and we could do an Olimar Ditto, or did you want me to try and start as another character and feel it out, or what was it that you wanted to start with?
I'm curious in the Olimar Ditto.
Okay, Olimar Ditto, gotcha. So how long have you been playing Olimar?
Oh, pretty recently, just like 2 months, I would say, like before the nerf.
Okay. Yeah, that's not too long, so definitely don't put too much pressure on yourself to like maybe perform well immediately. Obviously, I know you wanted to get some results and do well when you play, but he is a character that has a bit of a higher learning curve, and it takes a lot of work to understand the finer details about how Pikmin work, how to do things.
Understandable.
And his disadvantage, especially like when you're off stage or when you're above somebody, that can be very difficult to deal with if you're not super familiar with how to get around options, because he's so slow.
Yep.
But yeah, just as long as you keep practicing and all that stuff, it's gonna get a lot easier. But no, I mean 2 months definitely not bad at all. I know the nerfs made it a little bit harder in some ways to do things, but he's still a pretty solid character. You just have to kind of find your rhythm. Much to my dismay, not always play very aggressive. I'm a very aggressive player when I like to go in, but sometimes it's better to stay back, maybe throw some Pikmin, do a little camping, and kind of force an approach out of your opponent.
I also like to sometimes go in with aerials, but I feel like I should be camping a little bit more.
Yeah, it's weird because his aerials are so good, because when you attack with them, they're transcendent. They're like swords almost. So they can beat out pretty much every move if you space them right, and that's one of the reasons I really like yellow Pikmin, because they have the larger hitbox. But no, I can agree with that sometimes it's just like, it's not that you can't go in with the aerial, but maybe it's better to just stay back and let yourself kind of get this extra damage that you would get from the side Bs, or do something and make your opponent approach, and then instead of getting a straight aerial, maybe you catch them with a grab or a smash attack, and then you can start a combo and things like that. So it's not always doing like one or two things and kind of like getting stuck on that, because you don't always want to camp, you don't always want to approach and stuff like that. But just giving yourself like the ability to jump back and forth and go, okay, this is what I need to do at this moment, and you'll get better at doing it as time goes on. By the way, I don't know if you did see it, but I did post the room information in the Discord call.
Oh, I haven't noticed.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
Just wanted to let you know on that. So yeah, he's pretty good in that regard, but he what matchups would you say you're struggling with the most?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sorties, they're frustrating because they kind of contest your disjoints very well. They have their own. They edge guard you very effectively, in most cases, and they shield poke quite a bit since the patch, I've found, because a lot of sword swings go top to bottom, and that top area is where you're kind of exposed.
They gotta fix that.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, with sorties, it kind of comes down to a lot of that slower paced, kind of finding your openings, not trying to rush them down so much gameplay. If you can parry consistently, it's going to help you a lot there as well, just because a lot of sword characters, you might not always be able to punish off the parry, but they have a lot of single hit moves, so when you parry it, you can usually, at least maybe, if not hit them with something, then kind of reset, as opposed to a multi-hit where it's a bit more difficult to parry it. But another thing about sword characters is that a lot of the times they like to fall with their aerials as opposed to rise with them, so you can oftentimes catch them on the startup of their jump, since they usually aren't going to rise with an attack.
Yeah. Like rising fair in the middle of both batteries, for example, in a cloud.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so we can test this connection. It's a bit laggy.
Yep.
It's up to you, honestly. Like, if you're comfortable with playing it, we can go through with it. If not, I don't wanna make you do anything you're not super down for.
Oh, I'm comfortable with this.
Okay.
Exactly all you're showing on that.
Yeah, I think as long as it doesn't get super bad, it should be fine.
Yeah, I just landed up to a set, so it should be mostly consistent, I guess.
I will say that if it is not raining outside, but it is thundering a bit, so if it's really bad today, we could always try another day and see if maybe it's just a day of the connection. But
Oh, excellent.
but yeah, the Olimar Ditto kind of, I look at it in the way where I'm kind of trying to read your options before you do them, since we're both playing Olimar, right? So, like, if I know how to play Olimar and you're playing him, I should know what you're going to do a lot of the time, and that's going to help me get a punish on you, pretty reliably. So it's a lot of like watching Pikmin, making sure you're not letting the other Olimar do what he wants, knowing what you can and can't punish, things like that.
Okay. Oh, that's smart. Okay.
Oh, I'm surprised that I killed. Thought I was gonna be able to live that.
Back to kill 3.
Yeah, his back is super strong.
Ooh, okay.
Something to keep in mind is, I don't know the exact threshold that it changes, but the higher percent you are, the less ledge invincibility you have. So if you're at like 100%, your ledge invincibility is going to run out faster than if you were at 0.
Oh well. Yep. I think it caps around 111%.
Okay.
And then you have much less invincibility
Yeah.
in ledge.
So, I know that was only one game and it was obviously a little laggy, so it wasn't perfect, but you try and take note of how I kind of play very, like, I don't want to use the word fluid, but it's kind of like a consistent rhythm with me. It's like hit, 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 or move. Like, I'm kind of trying to minimize the amount of dead space I have in my gameplay to where I'm not just standing around and doing nothing. And that's something that you can get with your Olimar, especially the more you work at it. And it's a good way to consistently manage your Pikmin and keep them not only hard to track from your opponent, but also more effectively manage them while you're in the match, because they're always like, you're always shifting your lineup, and you create a very fluid play style.
Okay. Okay.
That's really good to do as well, because if you knock somebody off stage and you run to the ledge and forward smash, it's just going to ride off and go a lot farther than it normally would, and most people don't expect it because F smashes don't normally go off the ledge.
Yeah, I didn't knew that. My F smash is mostly just stop at the edge.
Yeah,
Okay, I got that.
yeah. If you space it right at the tip, it will go off stage like that, which is a nice mix up and way to punish certain things. So, I feel like you're the way you're playing right now. It's kind of you're finding a couple stray hits, but you're never really converting big off them when you do get them. Um,
Okay.
so when you're landing those hits, you kind of got to go. All right, well I got a hit. You generally in the like because you're pretty new to the character, you'll learn more in time. But it's like when you hit somebody with a down tilt or a forward air, you're pretty much gonna know where they're gonna go 9 times out of 10. So you can kind of already prepare yourself to go to that next spot as opposed to like waiting and trying to react to it, right? Because if you're waiting and trying to like react to maybe hitting me with a forward air, it's probably gonna be too slow. Since I might be able to air dodge or whistle out of there in the meantime. Not every case, because sometimes you do want to react. But generally, you need to be ready to like hit and then go there right as the hit is connecting. So almost
Down
like
tilt, right?
assuming that it'll hit.
Alright.
There you went for the dash attack, but honestly, a running down tilt might have caught my ledge snap because it hits slower. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Olimar's running down tilt and even up tilt, but generally down tilt can be a nice mix-up because most people don't expect you to run at them with that.
I see. You read my drift there, right?
Yeah, well what I did was I up smashed you and then I immediately went for the up B because I wanted to start pressuring you even if I didn't have a true combo. So I up B because that also kind of resynced my Pikmin back to my line because I'm sure you've noticed sometimes where you up smash with like one Pikmin and you can't follow up with an up air because the Pikmin kind of gets caught, like it's still in the up smash animation. So what you do is you up smash and then you up B and it kind of with the amount of time the up B takes and the boost of like space you get, it puts the Pikmin with you, and you get the mobility of the up B. So then I came at you and I noticed, okay, you're going this way. So I started moving that way towards you and I noticed you didn't do anything, so I caught you with the up air.
Cool. May I go with my main
Yeah.
next?
Yeah, no. Feel free to go any character you want to go.
Cool. I just want to see how I fare.
Who's the other character you play outside of Olimar?
Wolf.
Wolf? Okay.
Apart from making my Ulma better, I would like just to test out my fundamentals in general.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense. That makes sense. I can also play some other characters later on if you want, just to, because I know fighting Olimar can be a little bit weird.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I have so much trouble taking it or in another place that isn't, I mean in place, or I have to take way more on the side.
Yeah.
So if I can't express myself sometimes,
No,
I just can't find the word.
You're fine. You're fine. Oh no, the footstool.
Okay.
Oh, I got too distracted about getting my purple pigman back because I fell off there. Shouldn't have gone for that whistle. Oh wow,
Oh, that happened to me so many times.
thought you would have made that back. Yeah, the wolf's not bad. It definitely isn't super aggressive, which isn't always a bad thing. His lasers are pretty good, and I think on certain stages, especially like Battlefield, that can provide some extra protection for your lasers and stuff like that.
But I'm glad the connection isn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, it's actually it's not too bad. We can definitely play in this.
Oh, I just laugh at these things cause
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Oh, nice.
I've been practicing that recently.
Oh, okay.
Got that the best Pikachu player in my region, so I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God. Wait.
Oh, nice. I tried to whistle it, but I was a little too slow.
Oh. Oh.
So I feel like the biggest thing, or I guess feel like lack of thing you're doing with the wolf is I feel like you don't pressure shield as well as you could. Like Wolf's got some good pressure tools, especially with his aerials, and he's got good speed to compensate. And on a character like Olimar, smothering him is kind of a good way to like put him in that bad spot. So I don't want to say like go super aggressive. You need to always approach things like that, but kind of just incorporating it more as a mix-up, because you were pretty consistent with the way you played, where it's like kind of stay back, do laser, occasionally zone break with an aerial or like a dash attack or something like that. But there wasn't too much mix-up in how you went about it.
I want him to respect me more my options.
Yeah, you kind of like, you don't want the Olimar to be able to kind of just do whatever he wants, so you want to, you know, occasionally mix in the aggression, the shield pressure, things like that to catch him off guard, because you have such good speed that you can get in there really quickly when he's not paying attention, or like when he slips up and then, you know, starts something. Oh wow, alright. Keep in mind the get up attack animation has invincibility, so when you get knocked down, if someone immediately approaches, you don't always want to just pick an option like get up attack. You can kind of wait and try and react and see if you can get a free punish on him.
Okay. Not gonna lie, I feel kind of lost on what I should do right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about how I want to articulate it. It definitely, kind of going back to what I was saying with the Olimar earlier, how when you like attack, you kind of want to already have like a game plan of what you're gonna do next, as opposed to like waiting and reacting. I feel like that's kind of how you're playing in general the more I fight you, where you kind of go for things like, it's very like one-off, like you're like, alright, I'll attack here, and then I'll attack here, and then it doesn't really create a consistent like rhythm for you, or like a play style. It's just a bunch of like small options that you're choosing that just come together to make the entire match. Working on like kind of being more aware of your what's gonna happen right there. So like off stage right there, I knocked you off stage, okay, and then I ran at you and I immediately purple side beat, and you just jumped right into it. Like the purple side beat wasn't gonna hit you, but because you jumped, it hit you.
I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Yeah. So because you jumped, it hit you, and then you end up losing your stock. And I could have purple side beat and then maybe fared or fallen down and like forward air or done another aerial or anything like that. But you didn't, you got to work on, and this is something that just takes, I'm going to tell you about it obviously in this lesson, but it's kind of a repeated effort that you put in over time to help develop the skill. But it's that like overall awareness of not only what you're doing, but how it affects the entire game. So like when you're off stage and you're drifting in, okay, well there's a lot of information to take into account there. It's like, alright, I'm drifting off stage. Well, where's my opponent? Oh, is he coming at me? Did he throw a projectile? Like, oh, maybe he's right in front of me. Alright, now what are my opponent's available options? You kind of gotta have an idea of what your opponent can do so you're not getting caught off guard. And that's something that, like I said, you're going to get better at the more you play the game and practice it. But kind of just going, alright, well, here's where my opponent's at, here's where I'm at in the map. These are the available options we both have. Maybe we're far away, so I can shoot a laser. He can throw a Pikmin. Maybe we're up close, so he's got his smash attacks and I have my attacks. So just trying to help yourself remember, and so you're not getting caught off guard, you're not forgetting about them. And that's going to kind of like feed back into your normal gameplay, because when you're attacking, when you're fighting someone, when you're in the neutral game or whatever it is, you're going to be a lot more aware of their options and what you're doing. When you attack, you're going to know what can happen with your attack and what can happen after and how they can respond to it.
Oh, cool. I feel like I don't stick in my mind the options my opponent has and myself, so I just go in and do something and then I get punished.
Yeah,
Right now.
it's definitely not the easiest skill to just learn right off the bat, because you do kind of have to force yourself to think about extra stuff while you're playing, but it's something that's really important to learn to help you get yourself better at the game, because you need to understand how your attacks, your actions are being responded to, and what you can do in preparation of that. So like when we were playing the Olimar Ditto earlier, like I was saying, I kind of like read your options because we both play the same character. That's kind of what it is all the time. It's just really, it's easier in the case of an Olimar Ditto for me because it's the same options. But like when I forward smash, I know what can happen after that, right? Or when I up smash your shield, I know what the available options are that you have. So I can, maybe hold my shield because I know you don't have an attack fast enough, things like that, right? I'm trying to do something and I'm already getting ready to do the next step coming after it because I know what the available options are.
Okay. I understand.
That was a good grab.
I have that bad habit of just dropping off the ledge.
Yeah. Yeah, your ledge game definitely seems like one of your weaker one. Even when you're not necessarily off stage yet, I feel like you kind of hang around the ledge when you're in the disadvantage, but you seem to get punished a lot because Wolf's got a pretty exploitable recovery, so it can be a bit tough. So just maybe try and play more center stage, unless you're kind of the one dictating, or if you get on the ledge, maybe try and not brute force your way back in, but kind of just work on finding a way back into the stage. But definitely keeping in mind your ledge habits is important. I know something that I do that there's no shame in doing. It's just like when you're on the ledge, kind of just make a little mental note in your head. Maybe tell yourself real quick, be like, oh, don't drop from the ledge jump where, oh, I just rolled last time. So you're kind of just reminding yourself of what your last option was, or like not to go for a certain option, so you can mix it up. There's no shame in just making like a quick mental reminder in the moment.
I agree.
Are you fine with me changing my character real quick to try and fight your wolf, just with a different character so I can get a better idea? Alright.
Sure.
Choose your fighter.
Go Lucina. Someone nice and solid.
Let's fail.
Sorry if I'm not talking too much during the match. I'm just trying to focus on paying attention to any like habit you may have, a thing that I can point out after the match or when I see it.
Okay.
Oh, I got the footstool.
Oh no.
Wow, I'm surprised I didn't grab the lid there.
Oh, you added that.
No, don't mess that up. Yeah, I feel like approaching, at least with your wolf, seems to be one of your weaker areas. Like, you kind of just jump around a lot or use your movement to try and whiff punish more or wait till I hit your shield with something not safe. I think you could work on proactively hitting me. So, like, you know, as Lucina, you know, you run up and you catch me as I'm jumping, maybe with your own aerial or like a tilt or a dash attack or something, applying your own shield pressure with like nairs and things like that, and mixing it up with grabs. But kind of just trying to exert your presence more, because the way you're going about it now, it gives me kind of the ability to mix up my own options and timings to throw off your groove, because you're trying to play very reactionary. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing in some cases, it's just too easy, I feel, for me to be like, alright, I'm just going to delay my attack now, or shield breaker you right there, or something like that, because you kind of want me to hit you with something unsafe.
Okay, so I got to play the game you're playing with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gonna try to play a little bit more aggressive. Ooh.
Yeah. Nice. See, that was better in terms of the reactionary stuff, because like you saw I went for something a bit committal, used your speed to get in and out, and then got your punish. Oh no, that's unfortunate.
Idiot.
Well, I definitely felt like that was better. The aggression was working pretty well, especially in the beginning. You kind of mix it up. You were using wolf speed, getting some solid combos, regrabs when you noticed I would shield and things like that. So I think that was much better.
Okay.
It's gonna be, you know, to obviously take some work and things like that to fine tune the ratio of like aggressiveness to kind of passive reactionary play. But definitely don't force yourself to play one way or the other. Don't, because if not, if you do that, it's just going to get really predictable. It's going to be easier for the opponent to get in, and then you're not going to let yourself kind of excel at other areas where your character can. And in Olimar and Wolf's cases, they can both kind of push that advantage state pretty well. So right there, I just jumped and I air dodged down because I kind of wanted you to flinch to me doing something. And then when you air dodge, I get the free forward smash punish. So that's actually something I do with Olimar as well. Like, I'll jump at someone and then I'll wave dash down and then I'll just forward smash them or something like that. Because you can't really react to me what I'm doing. You're kind of reacting to the fact that I'm moving to begin with. And then I'm exploiting that fear from you.
Oh, so it's like a distraction of some sort?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, alright. I think I'm sorry. That moment I could have like shield threshold
Yeah.
when you cast shield.
And even if you're not like necessarily doing it right now, or you're not following up, because you know we're on Wi-Fi, it's not the best connection, all that, so you always can't react fastest. It's good that you're noticing it, so when you're playing in the future, you're gonna be a bit better about like capitalizing on those moments where you have the ability to do it. Because that's like kind of the biggest thing in these like lessons. It's kind of giving you the ability to do them on your own, so that you're paying attention to it and getting better at it. So, I'm pretty sure all three of your stocks were lost to offstage aerials. Two of them being forward air, one of them being that you know, you whip side back air do there. That's definitely kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, and obviously you're still working on it, but just that general awareness of like, what can I do in relation to you? Like, what are my available options? Are you kind of exposed in this area? You know, you went for that aerial there, it missed, so you got hit for it. So, you know, that's one of those instances where it's like, that's an all or nothing type of play when maybe you could have just stayed on stage and gone for something else. Or your second stock, when I think you did like an up air or something when you were moving towards stage, and just ran off and forward aired you. Just working on that general awareness, going, okay, Lucina's gonna run off and hit me here. I'm in that kind of like danger zone because it's so easy to be hit. I need to either recover faster or mix up my options better and not be so like vulnerable when I'm there.
An impatient.
Yeah.
I could have converted that.
That was nice. Caught my jump. Good, good. Okay, I was not expecting that to go that way. I like the drift out there so you weren't getting fair. That was good.
Okay.
Oh, I got a little greedy.
Oh. Should be more aware about that.
Yeah, paying attention to your stage positioning, especially when the opponent comes down from a stock and has an invincibility, is important because you want to try and minimize the what they can do off of it. Oh shoot! Well, nice job.
That.
Definitely,
Okay, thanks.
definitely was abusing Wolf Speed a bit better. You were more aware of some things, like when you drifted back on that, when you were recovering, you didn't get fared there. You were kind of using your movement in the neutral to like bait things out and then get in with your punishes. Not overextending too much. It was a step up for sure. I feel like with your ledge guarding and ledge trapping, you don't really use Wolf's tilts. Like his forward tilt and down tilt can do it, down smash of course. Olimar's is very similar where his down air, down smash, and down tilt can all kind of like catch people at the ledge. So I think that would be something worth like working on. Maybe they can kill and they're not as committal as say like running off stage and trying to use an aerial.
Alright, alright.
Why'd you have that out? Oops. Oh wow, I did not think that was gonna hit that. Oh, that I'm dead. Yeah. Should have drifted off to the ledge with my up B.
I've been noticing stuff like, for example, in this match I should have used more. I mean, I have this habit of trying to follow people when they are trying to retreat, because I'm really into overshooting, I guess it's called, yeah. And you aren't overshooting, I mean, you aren't retreating, you are throwing up aerials, and I just...
Yeah, it's...
can't adapt.
It doesn't always work out, and that's kind of where, like, it's fine to have the game plan be that kind of at the beginning or at the base level of what you want to do, but it's something that you adapt as the match goes on, and you go, all right, well, I started doing it, well, now that they've caught on some, I'll start mixing up the timings, or I'm not gonna do it for the rest of the stock or something like that, and just changing up your gameplay and keeping them kind of guessing what you're doing. You've definitely made some adjustments to kind of play in a more in-between way where it's not too aggressive, it's not too defensive and campy, things like that from when we first started. I'm going to try going Olimar again, just to get an idea of some stuff. But you're definitely like pretty solid overall. And I think that's the biggest thing for you is going to be practicing that mindfulness, that awareness of like, okay, I'm off stage, I don't want to go for this option, or I should be careful about getting hit by the opponent while I'm drifting in, right? Like, don't focus so much on yourself. Kind of just look at the bigger picture of the match and focus in where you need to.
3, 2, 1, go!
For Olimar, you're probably better off going for the down throw combo.
Alright.
Oh, you gotta be greedy.
Oh, I went with the up.
I mean, it's fine if you go for it. I just think on average the down throw is probably gonna give you more. But at like higher percents on a platform, like right there, you weren't gonna get anything off because the percent was so high. So there's no problem in like mixing it up. But at lower percents, I think the down throw is probably better in most cases. Remember, you don't always want to go off stage. Sometimes just ledge trapping, like let me whiff the up air at the ledge, and then you can maybe try and cover my option with a down tilt or an F tilt or something like that when I'm on the actual ledge.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Okay. I should have waited.
yeah. But no, I mean definitely better than you were in the beginning. Um, I think how would you feel about wrapping it up? Just because we have a little under 10 minutes left with a best of 5. We can just
Okay.
clean it up that way. Did you wanna stay Wolf, or did you wanna try the Olimar, or what did you wanna do?
I think I'm gonna try the Olimar Cross.
Okay,
I just want to get that.
that's fine.
Let me.
And a lot of the advice I was giving you with the Wolf does pertain to Olimar. It's just something, like with Olimar, you'll just be, changing up maybe certain things to not go as aggressive at certain points, but kind of focus on where his strengths or weaknesses are. But that general awareness is super important, with Olimar especially, because he's so, focused on managing his Pikmin and kind of being aware of all of that. Oh, nice.
Oh no.
That's something that's really important in the Olimar Ditto as well, is to just try and minimize how, the uptime on your opponent's purple Pikmin, just because they're so strong. So just killing them with, smashes, down tilts, jabs, it's very important. Good thought, but it was another one of those examples where you up smash, but you only had that one purple, so it was still in its animation when you went there. And a lot of the times, that's why I go for the up B, because it kind of repulls the purple back in, and it still gives you that boost of momentum. I was kind of looking out for it there, so I don't know if you would have been able to get an up air regardless, but that's just something to keep in mind, that just like when you have that one Pikmin, you can't always up smash into an aerial at certain percents just from doing it, just like a jump into an aerial. Um, couple things I'm noticing. The jab block was a good example of what I talked about towards the beginning. Or it was like you're not letting yourself kind of when you're going for an attack, you're still waiting to react to what's happening, as opposed to kind of just like, I don't want to say assuming, because like you can't always assume something will work, but just like you're missing the jab blocks because there's such a strict timing window that when you hit them, you're not ready to go for the punish, right? And then you're kind of like, I feel like you're getting a bit predictable at times where you'll be like, do something, and then you'll spot dodge, and it's just like working on that awareness. That's kind of the theme of things that I feel like is your weak area right now. It's kind of just like making sure that you're not always falling into that more autopilot-y, if that's the word for it, like gameplay. You know, you want to let yourself kind of look at things how they are, maybe be ready for them, constantly change it up, and just try and be as aware as possible. And that's something that with Olimar you'll kind of get at least a better sense for, because you're like managing your Pikmin, and you just want to transfer that to the game as well. Like the same way you would manage your Pikmin, you go, okay, well now I'll just look at the game and I'll kind of take it that from like a bigger picture. And I'll give you what I would consider a decent like analogy for it after this game.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like I'm autopiloting a lot. Oh, hard.
Nice.
I spot that.
It's such a good thing to do, but yeah, it is something you got to be smart with. So you see how I used the B there to kind of like just let myself kind of not juke you out per se, but kind of just zip by, like throw a purple, then make you deal with that, and then kind of just get through really quickly. That's one of the nice things about Olimar's up B is you get so much like mobility and creativity with how you can go about it. But yeah, so do you drive at all, like cars or anything like that? Have you?
No.
No? Okay.
Never.
Have you ever been in a car, I assume?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know how like when you're sitting in a car, and you're looking through like the front windshield area, you kind of just like look at it all at the same time, and you kind of just focus in where you need to. It's like, oh, you're looking through it. Oh, I'll look at that house over there. But normally when you're like looking at the road, for instance, you kind of just like zone out and take everything in. It's kind of the game is kind of like that, right? Think of it like a giant picture. The TV is a picture, and you kind of look, let's say you look right at the middle of the TV. Okay, well you're focused on that. You can kind of see everything in your peripherals, but you're focused on the bigger picture, so to speak. You're not worrying about one specific thing. And then while the game progresses, while it moves, you kind of look over there real quick. Oh, we're off stage, so I'll look over there. And then you kind of go back to focusing on the general game, and you don't hyper-focus on just one aspect of it. Like, take your Pikmin, for instance, right? When you're playing Olimar, you don't always look at your Pikmin. You kind of do stuff, look at them briefly, and then go back to the game. And that's what you kind of want to take in for your general awareness and how you do things, so that you're not wasting like brain power or whatever focusing on something all the time when you don't need to focus on it all the time. You let yourself kind of jump back and forth on where you need to have your attention. And when you do that, it's going to help you be a lot more aware, because when you're off stage, that's when you focus about yourself being off stage and where your opponent is in relation to you. When you're not off stage, you don't even need to worry about that. You focus on the neutral, or your advantage state, and what you're doing in that moment. But they're like slightly different things that you can worry about depending on how the game is going.
That was very eye-opening. Right.
I'm glad I helped. Do you but did you have any last minute questions you wanted to ask to wrap it up?
Last minute question.
Yeah, if you don't have any now, you can always shoot me some on Discord. If you think of something you wanted to ask me, I don't mind answering them there.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, but just a little question I have. Why do you always grab after you lose a stock? You grab, and I was just curious about why do you do that?
Why do I grab after I what?
After losing a stock, you grab, and the
Oh.
techniques are like this. Yeah.
So like, are you saying like when I lose a stock and then I come down?
Yes.
A lot of the times it's me trying to exploit like what my opponent's doing, because oftentimes when the opponent is invincible, the first thing to do is either retreat to a platform or away or shield, so you can't get hit. So a lot of the times it's just me trying to catch them that way, like trying to get around my invincibility, because like I'm not going to be, if I hit them with something on their shield, it's not going to hit them, but a grab might be able to beat that. Plus, if I have the invincibility potentially, then the grab might be safer than it normally would be, since I won't be able to get hit.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will end it here.